14-7 to Grayling. We have Jared Preston with us. Jared is the 7th and 8th grade football coach. Jared, welcome to WLJ and
Hey, glad
Airways.
to be here. Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about what's happening in 7th and 8th grade football. What are you trying to do with kids that age?
Absolutely. So how I kind of see it is almost like sending your guys through basic training. You go through, you teach them all the blocks, kind of our bread and butter type plays. Make sure guys are just in the right position. So that way, when they get to JV, they know exactly what to do for kind of our basic stuff. So that way, the coaches don't have to spend time on that. And
Are you in communication with Coach Sellers?
Yeah, so I actually talked to him last night, and he invited me down here to be able to sit in the booth and go down on the sideline. So it's a great opportunity because when I was first out of high school, I remember everything really well. I went down to school at Grand Valley for a few years, came back here to Traverse City, and now need kind of a refresher course, if you will. So
You played football here at St. Francis. What years?
So I played from 2008 until 2011 was when I went to high school. So I was on the 08 and 09 state championship teams, and it was really cool. I always think about it.
Do you have big numbers out in these kids, 7th and 8th graders?
Yeah, so actually it was really great to see. So last year, the 7th grade didn't have enough kids for a team, so they had to combine the 7th and 8th grade. This year, the 8th grade has 18 kids, and I believe the 7th grade has 25. So the numbers are looking great. It's just really good to see both teams playing.
So is this 2 teams or 1 team?
So it's 2 teams. Last year they had to combine.
Okay.
So that was kind of unfortunate just because, we really like to have the kids play and get as much exposure as they can.
How much practice do you do with kids that age?
Yeah, so our games are on Wednesdays. So we have practice Monday and Tuesday, and then our games are on Wednesday, and then we watch film on Thursday. So it's a short week. We only get about 4 hours with the kids total before the game, so we really got to hit the big stuff.
Do you keep the contact down during practice?
Yeah, we try to, but we really want to make sure that kids know how to hit too, because at that age, if you aren't aggressive enough, another kid is, we don't want to get any injuries or anything like that. So we try to keep it down, but we really make sure that they get used to the contact.
And I guess for you, a satisfaction would be to see these kids out here on Friday night.
Absolutely. That's my ultimate end goal, is to see every single 8th grader be signed up for that JV football team. That would just make me as happy as possible. Yeah.
Jared, it's a real pleasure having you with us today.
Hey, and I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Keep up the good work, and we'll catch up with you later on.
Hey, absolutely.
Jared Preston, 7th and 8th grade coach here at halftime. We'll be back right after this timeout with the Gladiators trailing 14-7.
What's going on, everybody? This is Chad with the band Unspoken, and October 18th, we are coming to Traverse City, Michigan at the East Bay Calvary Church with the Reason Tour. Unspoken, Stars Go Dim, and Katie Hurst. It's going to be a wonderful night. We want you to come and hang out with us. You can get tickets at unspokenmusic.com and more information there as well. We hope to see you there.
On the JV team?
I do. My second son, Luke, he is sophomore on the JV team and plays safety. He's what I call my Ludka son, because they're all my sons are big like me, but Luke is built like his mom, and he's tough as nails, and he's a real good kid. We're very proud of him. They had a nice game last night in Grayling. Grayling was beautiful over there, and we're a great host, and we came away with the win.
Yeah. I was just talking with Preston.
Yeah, I have a son on his team, too.
Oh, you have? Oh, my goodness. Anyway, JVs are trying to do the same thing the 7th and 8th graders doing. They're trying to getting them ready for the varsity?
Yep, it's all a sequence, and you try to get the basic stance and starts and technique. You start that in the 7th grade, you build it in the 8th grade, and then you getting the very basic plays, your splits, your off G's, your counters, and then so when they come up to the JV, and as they go into the varsity, everything gets a little bit more sophisticated. The playbook gets a little bit bigger. Their understanding of the offense and the concepts and what you're trying to do should grow if the program's doing the right things every year for each student.
How's the JV team doing?
JV team's doing well. their sophomore class is small, and they've got 2 freshmen and 2 sophomores up on the varsity. So that gives a lot of kids some opportunities to fill in some spots that they might not have gotten. They got some playing time that they might not have gotten, some carries they might not have gotten. So it's actually one of those nice things where now you have 4 other kids or 8 other kids that are able to step into roles and get some experience and get better.
You only have one more game at Thurlby Field this year.
It's amazing. It's gone so fast. I think those first 3 games that were boom, boom, boom. But that game's going to be wonderful. That's our homecoming game. That's where we honor our Hall of Fame.
Okay.
That'll be our senior night, our parent night. And so that's going to be a big extravaganza. So we're hoping for great weather.
Okay, you're the athletic director at Traverse City St. Francis. How are you betting on this team getting into playoffs?
You know, I never bet against these guys. Our coaching staff is excellent. They're trying to get these kids into the perfect spot to maximize their abilities. I would bet that we do. Even if we dropped a game or 2, we're still playing a very tough schedule. We don't have anybody that's Division 7 on our schedule. All we have is Division 2, Division 4, Division 5. These guys are Division 5, so that's a big school. So I think I like our chances.
You're saying even with if you end the season 5-4, you think you'll get into playoffs?
I do.
Could you host the game?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Especially if I asked to Peter. Peter gave me his predictions, and even if we win 6-3, he thinks we're traveling.
Oh, cool.
So I'm hoping that that's not the case. I'm hoping we stay at 7-2 and finish the season without a loss.
And then we'd be back here.
Yeah.
Sports are going well for St. Francis this spring, aren't they, or fall?
You know, they are. We have a lot of great parents that partner with us as a school. We also have some great coaches that are selflessly giving their time, and then we have kids that work hard and they listen. They got kids that want to get better, and so that combination, no matter the talent level, what you have, if you're maximizing the talents God's given each kid, you're going to always be successful in some way. And it might not be in the scorebook. Maybe it's in the character development. Maybe it's in the bonding of the team. Maybe it's the closeness that you have with your school. But there's some place where you're going to grow and get better and be a better person.
Big touchdown for the Glads with 19 seconds to go.
And we get the ball when we get off, when we come back
right.
for the second half. So that's a big momentum shift. These guys are good. They're really good, but they're not very deep, and they have some big guys that get tired. And their MO has been the second half, they kind of just get tired because big guys moving around. And I'm hoping that that's the case, and we're able to wear them down a little bit. You know, score one, get the momentum shifted here, get our defense kind of shored up, and the offense with a little consistency where we just start driving it down the field like St. Francis football does.
Aaron Bigger, always a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for
Todd.
being on.
You
Okay,
bet.
we're going to come back. Brian Harsey's going to talk about Share-a-thon. That's a big thing at WLJN. Coming back right after this timeout. Field. I'm Don Wittella with the Gladiators trailing 14-7 at halftime. Brian Harsey, we're going to talk about Share-a-thon at WLJN here in a minute. But first of all, Brian, the first time we've seen this penalty assessed, there was a penalty assessed, and I said, what happened? Tell us about the sideline penalty.
Sideline interference, and there are 2 applications of that rule. If the coaches are in that restricted area at the snap of the ball, live ball, a flag is thrown and they're given a sideline warning. Okay. Now, if there is an actual contact with an official and a coach on the sideline, then there is a 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct, sideline interference.
And that happened?
That's what happened, and you saw the official laid out there for quite a while and then ended up getting taped up. That's the third injury that we've had already this year on the officials in the restricted area. That restricted area is not really well understood by the coaches, and we work in pregame diligently as officials to saying, remember, stay out of the restricted area, stay out of the restricted area. And to some extent, I think they could be taking this more seriously because we've had officials take off on a dead run, and that 6-foot band around the field is the area that the official needs to work and work safely. And if you've got coaches or players that step into that area, we're watching, as an official, we're watching the field of play. And if we are not aware of a coach that steps out there for some reason and we collide with them, I mean, it's bodily injury, and you saw that tonight. So it's something that we're trying to stress. Sometimes you feel as an official that just a 15-yard penalty when you're, trying to recoup after a while isn't quite enough, isn't quite sufficient enough. But that's a very important area. It's a safety factor for the players. If they've got a run that's coming along that side of the field, to get back and get out of the way, they've already got a 2-yard advantage to get back and safe. And the official has got to back up and get out of the way. So if they are there, that's why we call it the restricted area. The official has to operate there free of, the fear of harm.
Okay, Brian Harsey, an official here in Northern Michigan. Now let's turn to Share-a-thon, Brian. This is one of the biggest things, and you only do it once a year, I think.
Yes.
Talk about the Share-a-thon at LJN.
Yeah, it's coming up October 22nd, 3rd, and 4th, and this is the time of the year that we raise all of the listener funds, listener portion of our operating expense, $360,000. And I tell you what, Don, we've been in existence now for over 35 years, and fully listener supported. We seek to operate debt-free. And it's our listeners that get behind us and support us year after year after year and keep the mission going. And we started off as a one single AM station at 1,000 watts. 1,400. And now God has grown and expanded the ministry now to 7 different signals, 3 different formats. And there's just a lot of stuff going on every day on those 3 formats. And, of course, we have the opportunity to do football on Friday or Saturday as well.
Now, I'm thinking about St. Francis people listening, the fans, and might want to get involved. If they would call the station during this Share-a-thon, could they designate their funding to go to football?
Sure. If they would like that to happen, the telephone operators can take those notes, and we've got an area to note that on our gifting and so forth when those gifts come in. So absolutely. It's we really look at the St. Francis family across the globe now, that people are listening internationally. They're texting us, they're emailing us, and this is kind of a family night every time we get together for a football game. So absolutely.
Now, you only hold it 3 days. That's kind of nice, too. You've been able to raise those funds in 3 days.
Typically, we do. Last year, we came up a little bit short, so we did 'twas the week before Christmas and raised some funds right before the Christmas season, and people really got on board and helped us out with that. But typically, we try to stay within that 3 days. And leading up to those 3 days, the whole month of October is really Share-a-thon month. And just like, remember the shuttle launch cruise that would get that pad ready, get the spaceship ready, that's what our pre-Share-a-thon response is like, is preparing us for the launch so the mission can be completed when we launch for those 3 days.
And I want our listeners to know I worked in commercial radio where we sold advertising. Took care. We never didn't have any Share-a-thons.
Right, yeah.
But you don't sell advertising. You have the Share-a-thon.
Yeah, and we do, of course, like sponsors.
Like
we have
football.
some business underwriting sponsors and so forth for football. But that helps out. A cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. And so we've got, the income from football and business underwriters, our listeners, and some activities and events that go on as well. So we look at a lot of different options to keep the ministry going strong, and our listeners are the main cord that keeps us going.
They're out there.
They are out there. Yeah.
Brian, thanks so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Bringing us up to speed. Okay, we're taking another break. We'll be back. John will come back and recap the first half right after this.
What's going on, everybody? This is Chad with the band Unspoken, and October 18th, we are coming to Traverse City, Michigan at the East Bay Calvary Church with the Reason Tour. Unspoken, Stars Go Dim, and Katie Hurst. It's going to be a wonderful night. We want you to come and hang out with us. You can get tickets at unspokenmusic.com and more information there as well. We hope to see you there.